Okay, so I'm going to quickly tell you about my trip to Venice last week. I did 2-day trips. One on Friday I went to Venice, and then on Sunday I went with my program to Siena and San Gimignano, and I'll do a separate video about that. And then this Sunday I'm going to Arezzo and Cortona. I guess that's tomorrow. But anyway, so last week I had already booked this through bus stops, and it was like cheaper to go through them and bus there than to pay for the like round trip train ticket to Venice. So anyway, we met at the train station, we got on the bus, we rode, it's like 3 hours-ish to Venice, and we got to watch Water for Elephants, which is a pretty good movie. It was pretty kind of sad, good, I don't know, it's weird. I'd never seen it. And then we got there, and it was really cold and rainy, and I don't know, the whole day kind of started off a little bit rough. The public transportation, there's supposed to be some tram that we took from the place where we got into the actual city of Venice, and public transportation was on strike that day because that's something common here. It's super fun when Italians decide to go on strike, and you just have to pay for things. So we ended up having to pay for this like water taxi thing all day, which was like 18 euro, which we may or may not have had to pay for anyway, but it was just really frustrating because we'd already spent the money on the bus ride, and it was just kind of frustrating. But anyway, got into Venice, and despite the fact that it was super cold and like wet all day, I was still completely in love with the city. I'm honestly super depressed that I wasn't there for longer. I really wanted to spend like a weekend in Venice, or at least an overnight, but I just couldn't figure out how to like financially make that happen since I've done so much traveling and I still have a few more things to do before I leave. So anyway, we got into the city, we took this little water taxi thing, just like this little ferry. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's like a cab for the water, but it's bigger. A lot of people fit on it. Anyway, oh god, Venice is just so cool. It's a lot of tiny little streets, little alleyways. They say just to get lost in alleyways, but there's really no other option but to do that, because I don't know how you would even begin to know your way around there, because everything is just like around the corner and up and down, and there's a bridge here and a canal there and an alley there, and not a lot of it's labeled, and I don't know. So we just kind of roamed around. It was kind of nice because we really had no like specific plans or things we had to do. We just wanted to see the city, so we went and looked for a place for lunch, and I was trying to find a place on my TripAdvisor app, but it's kind of hard whenever everyone's feet are going numb and people are just kind of getting antsy and we're hungry and stuff. So that didn't work out. We just ended up popping into a place that we just kind of stumbled upon, and it was good. It was fine, but it wasn't like the greatest food on earth. But the cool thing about that spot was that it was right across the street from this Venetian mask shop, which there's a ton there, but this one in particular was super cool. We went inside, and obviously the masks were way too expensive for me to buy, but they were really intricate and really detailed, and they had like every type I could have ever thought of and more. And I didn't used to really like the Venetian masks. Like, I don't know, I don't think I really, the ones with the long nose are kind of freaky, but the rest I just never really thought anything of them. But after being there, I like completely fell in love with them. Like, I want to get a really intricate, cool, I want to go to a masquerade party. I wish I could have gone to Carnival in the spring in Venice. It's so cool, and they're so beautiful, so gorgeous. Right across the street from that was this little glass shop, which, if you don't know, Venice is famous for their Murano glass. It's like an island or whatever. We didn't get to make it to Murano and Burano because they're like 2 hours away on water taxi or something awful. So we ended up just staying in the main city of Venice. But there's a ton of that Murano glass all over the city, and it's really pretty and very unique because it's handmade and stuff like that. So we went into this place, and there just so happened to be this kind of workshop for this couple, I guess, and the woman made like the masks, and the man made like glass little stuff. So we went in there, and he was actually heating up this glass and like making this little fish out of this glass. It was the coolest thing. We got to like see it firsthand. So I ended up picking up a few little Murano glass souvenirs throughout the day. We kind of ended up having nothing much better to do than to pop into shops because it was like kind of too rainy to really just wander around. So we tried to check things out and look at things as we went, but most of our day was just spent kind of looking at stores and checking cool things out, and unfortunately I was just kind of stubborn and decided to use my camera anyway, even though it was kind of raining and everyone was stressing out about using their cameras. And later on I ended up kind of kicking it off the end of my bed. I think I described that in one of my other videos, so I don't know, it kind of went berserk for a little minute, but I've used it since and it's working fine, so I'm hoping that everything is okay. But I definitely kind of took some risks, but I got some pretty cool pictures. I'm trying to upload them right now. I wish I could have gotten more, but it really was just weather permitting, not good, and we all looked like wet rats, and so I really just only didn't even want any pictures of me anyway. So yeah, we pretty much just roamed around. We ended up getting a little cappuccino at a cafe at the end. We got this little wrap for the ride home. It was actually a really delicious wrap. Honestly, probably better than lunch. It was just like a ham and cheese wrap, but yeah, pretty much just spent the day getting lost and shopping and, you know, kind of trying to enjoy the rain, even though it was cold. Like, it was kind of, it had a cool effect on the city. So, yeah, I really loved it. I would have loved to have spent more time there. I could definitely, I want to go back ASAP. I could go back before I left if it was, you know, offered to me. But, super cool city, super just enchanting. I don't know, that's the best word to describe it in my opinion. Anyway, that was our day. Then we took the bus back and we watched Forrest Gump and started I Love You Man, but we didn't finish that. So, and then we were back in Florence. So that was my whole trip to Venice.